Hello and welcome to my channel. If you're meeting me for the first time, my name is Carol Kishohi. Thank you for joining me. And in this channel, we talk about driving change in Africa through innovation and purpose-driven entrepreneurship. And today, I'm so excited for this show because I'm joined by a guest who happens to be my friend and my first guest ever. I will let him introduce himself, but I've known him to be a visionary leader with a pioneering spirit. I've known him to be someone that is not afraid of going against the expected flow, someone that is not afraid in a good way to cause trouble because he's a disruptor. So, ladies and gentlemen, my first guest ever, Charles Arnold.
Wow.
Please introduce yourself. Tell us a little bit about yourself, what you do, and then we proceed.
Thank you so much, Carol. My name is Charles Arnold Adinda. My stage name is Arnold the Mouthpiece.
Yeah.
Professionally, I think I will start from down as I go up. Professionally, I am a storyteller. So I do copywriting, I do anything to do with advertisements, I do photography, videography. Basically, if you want your story to be told and captured in a way that makes you want to have a memorable moment, yeah, I'm the person to contact in terms of strategy and the technical work. Above that, I run a podcast. It's an audio podcast on Spotify called The Restoration Mandate. And basically what we do in The Restoration Mandate is we're trying to help people let go of labels that have defined them, whether it's societal labels, whether it is labels that they have put on themselves as they have grown up, and to really walk in the fullness of purpose, what that is concerned. And above that, I am a son and a child of God.
Amen.
Amen.
Thank you so much.
Yeah.
And I'm so honored to have you on the show. It really means a lot for
Thank
having
you so
you.
much.
Yes, for someone to actually collaborate, I believe in collaboration, and for someone to actually agree to collaborate means that they can see where your vision is going and they're actually bringing their input, which means a lot. So thank you so much for joining me
Thank
today.
you. The pleasure is all mine.
First of all, I was going through your content and there's a piece that I came across. You are a spoken word artist. I don't know if you mentioned. I think he's actually a spoken word artist. So he mentioned that there's a piece. There's a spoken word artist that you did titled "Hope for the Nation." My goodness, I have never resonated with someone like I did when I listened to that podcast, masterpiece. What goes? Because I believe every one of us has a role to play in national level advancements. Because again, it takes leadership to drive progress. And this is not about formal position and titles. By virtue of being here, we all have a role to play in national level advancement. I want to know, because this kind of leadership will not just emerge out of nowhere. It will not, having dealt with poor governance in Africa for a very long time, we cannot just hope and wish that, or just imagine that the kind of leadership that formulates meaningful system that help the people deal with their circumstances, like Moses, will just emerge out of nowhere. No, there has to be a system in place for the formation of such kind of leadership. Please tell us, what are the components that goes into the formation of such kind of leadership that Africa is seeking? What goes into the formation of such kind of leadership?
Wow, that's a very intriguing question. There are patterns to creating a leader. And often, I think one of the biggest quotes you hear all around about leadership is usually, leaders are born, not made. And in a sense, that might be true. But in terms of creating leadership, or for that leadership to find fruition, the principal thing for a leader of such caliber is for them to learn how to follow. That followership is the basis of raising true leadership.
Wow.
Now, the question then becomes, what do they follow? Because are they following men? Are they following history and philosophy? What are they following? Because by what they are following, then that will actually translate into what they think leadership is and what they're going to express in terms of leading people. So for the most part, and I think one of the most important components in terms of leadership and in terms of raising leaders is that followership. Learning what makes you and your foundation as a leader. What are you going to be following in terms of that? So philosophy, and that's where things like now, philosophy, vision. When you hear someone saying about a visionary leader, the basic thing is about not just about the vision they have cast for people to follow, but more importantly, the vision they have set for their lives. Now you begin to think about things like that. And apparently, if you look at it in the context of Africa, most of our leaders have manifestos, not visions. Because a manifesto and a vision, those are two different things. They have goals, they don't have purpose. Again, those are two different things. And from where these concepts have been birthed from, is also very questionable. Because you look at, in Africa, I believe in a very big way that we do not need leaders from leadership schools. I think we've had a lot of leaders in terms of technical, leaders who can do things, who have thrived in their fields, who have been able to do great and mighty things globally by virtue of their skill. But the leaders we need are leaders who have had an encounter with God for particular people.
Wow.
Would it shock you to know, this is a very controversial thing I'm going to say. Would it shock you to know that governments were not created to succeed?
Oh, interesting.
Governments were not created to succeed, essentially. Now, I've said governments, not leadership. The problem is we've always looked at leadership in the context of government, or through the lens of government.
Yeah.
Right? Leadership in itself is the ability to influence people to follow. That's what leadership is, the ability to influence people to follow. Now, what are you influencing them to follow? Because by virtue of the vision you're influencing them to follow, that will determine whether that vision will succeed and how long it will succeed.
Yeah.
You understand? So if I were to say anything that in terms of what is the most important concept that we're looking for in raising African leaders, I would say discipleship in the right philosophy.
Okay.
Discipleship in the right philosophy. We can no longer be led by history.
Yeah.
We can no longer be led by politics. Politicians are not leaders. That you're a politician does not make you a leader.
Yeah.
You understand? It has to be discipleship in the right philosophy. That is what will make leaders. Yeah.
Wow. Wow.